What's up, my people, my friends? How's everyone doing today? So, Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out soon. And listen, it looks cool. I didn't get to watch the whole direct because I'm just leaving work and I only watched a couple of things. But um, I did want to talk about, I guess, my thoughts on like the price point and some other things like how expensive everything's going to be. Um, and also just a little bit of what I'm excited for. Which honestly, as of right now, is not a lot, but I'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to thank everyone for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, but also I want to specifically thank my members. Right now, the Poke Kiddo 1 is an Ultra Papito. Then I've got Jack, and then I've got Plasma, and Mr. Krabs. But everyone else that I have as members, thank you as well for being members. All thanks to the Poke Kiddo 1 and Mr. Thew. So thank you for rewarding those members, guys. I appreciate you guys. Um, so anyways, what did I think about the Nintendo Switch 2 so far? I mean, it looks like they're trying to involve themselves into the whole online thing and trying to make it a little bit easier without needing to like connect to an app first and then being able to like talk to people, which nobody used. We know that was the case. Nobody used the freaking Nintendo voice chat app or whatever. If you did, raise your hand. Exactly. No one. So yeah. So it looks like they're trying to get into this kind of you know, this area, which is pretty cool. I think they're progressing somewhat in some regard, right? So yeah, I mean it's interesting. All of the little extra features or updates they're going to be rolling out for like all the games for the Switch One. It's interesting, and I'm sure some people appreciate it, but yeah, for the most part, I'm more excited that the system is going to be more powerful, and yeah, it's that's always something for me that I'm excited about, especially with Nintendo. Nintendo, although they never make, well, I don't want to say never, they don't always make the best choices uh, for like fans, I guess you could say, or like it doesn't always seem like they're moving forward in a sense. I will always hold them as my favorite like video game company just because of how many amazing IPs they have, but also all of the great times I've spent gaming with on my own or with family, friends. It's just countless hours of amazing moments with Nintendo and people. And so I'm really excited about the Switch 2. Honestly, the price point is not that scary to me. 450, I was kind of expecting around that range. But shout out to Mr. Thew. He did point out a good observation, which I think is correct, where basically it seems like Nintendo is kind of making up for the price point, which probably could have been a little more, honestly, with all of the accessories. Like, if you want to get an extra dock, everything is really expensive. The Pro controller costs like $80. Joy-Cons cost like almost $100. I think the dock as well. Like all of this stuff, everything costs so much more money. Um, and so basically, if you want to get more things, it's gonna be a pretty penny for sure. So yeah, so it's definitely gonna kind of hurt the wallet a little bit once you start tacking on things. And besides that, besides the hardware itself, physical copies of the games are going to be quite pricey. We're looking at $80 for. It seems like $80 is kind of going to be the norm. like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which looks incredible, by the way. Is going to be $80. The freaking Mario Kart 9 is going to be $80 if it's not bundled digitally with the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm obviously going to get that bundle because there's no way I, I don't want a physical version of a game that bad. Not anymore, you know. So yeah, so it's going to be a lot more expensive. Now I can see why maybe physical copies cost much more, and mostly it being because a physical copy also costs more to like manufacture, print out, ship, all that stuff. So maybe that's the excuse, you know. But still, it still hurts a little bit for sure, obviously, with that price point. But yeah, so I'm not super excited about the pricing, but either way, I've significantly trimmed down how much I spend on video games in the last couple years, several years, ever since I basically got married and became a father. So in reality, I feel like it's also not going to be that different compared to what I used to spend on games and systems and all that stuff and collector's editions and physical versions of this and blah blah blah. So, yeah, I'll probably buy like 2 or 3 games in a year. So, that's kind of my range as of right now. So, yeah, it doesn't really affect me that much in that sense. So, yeah, it's whatever. Um, excuse me. Just took a sip of water. So, yeah, overall, the price point doesn't necessarily kill it for me, if that makes sense, because of that. So, yeah, I was going to buy the games anyway, sort of thing. Um, but in terms of the games that I'm most excited about, honestly, Mario Kart World is definitely the one I'm most hyped for. Mostly because, first of all, it just sounds just like a stupid amount of fun. But also the idea of it is pretty freaking cool. You know, like the modes that they're gonna have are like really interesting, and like they really thought outside the box for this one. Like, who would have thunk just to race to the next course would be like a little mini game or part of the racing? Like, that's freaking awesome. That's pretty freaking cool, you know? Like, not only are you racing on the course, but you're racing to the next course. That's genius. It's like, wow, what a way to expand the world, you know? And really the concept of Mario Kart World makes a lot of sense. And I really also am interested in the mode where it's like you basically keep playing until you get kicked out, which is a really cool, other feature as well. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this game because another thing is like every character we've seen so far is all before DLC. And we know this game is going to get DLC. So, who the heck else is going to join this roster? Who the freak knows, man? Who the freak knows? So, yeah. And I'm also excited about the little world, like open world aspect. That's pretty cool as well. You know, so it just sounds like it's going to be a good time online or like with like my family, like my kids. So I'm really really excited about that game for sure. It's like definitely the one I'm most excited about. And then besides that one, the other two that I'm like somewhat interested in, at least from what I remember, is like Donkey Kong Bonanza. That looks like a really good time. And freaking Duskborn. So I'm not necessarily super hyped from what I saw, but I am like a ginormous Bloodborne fan. And it's funny because when Bloodborne first came out, I was totally not interested in it, like even a little bit. I wasn't interested in it at all, almost. Like, the only reason I actually played it was because my ex-girlfriend bought it for me, and she wanted to play that game together. She also bought me Dark Souls 2, so like I was like way more hyped about Dark Souls 2, and I like played the crap out of that. But on occasion, I would play Bloodborne with her. And again, at first, it was like I wasn't really super interested in it, especially also because I was kind of like, it was kind of like hand holding almost because I had to like save her all the time and like revive her. And like, she kind of sucked at it. So yeah, I was like not having the greatest time, I guess. But I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I kind of want to play this on my own. And so when I wasn't playing with her, I started playing Bloodborne on my own, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I got like obsessively addicted to it, and it like became literally my favorite PlayStation 4 game. Like to this day, PlayStation 4 Bloodborne is my favorite game. Um, and so yeah, and so I'm kind of in that same aspect with Duskborn or Duskblood or whatever the freak it's called, where I'm very curious to see how this one turns out. And also, I mean, we just got a little preview of it, so it's not like we got a lot of information. We just got like a little trailer, so it's whatever. But again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be hyped for it. And I also think it's really interesting that it's only going to be available for the Nintendo Switch 2, which is like really interesting. Like literally, I don't think anyone saw that coming. We all been asking for Bloodborne 2 for the longest freaking time. And now that we're getting it, it's weird that it's only on Nintendo Switch 2. So, yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting. The whole situation is very interesting. But yeah, so it's definitely a title that I am somewhat curious about and definitely might want to try out someday. So anyway, so yeah, but that's basically it in terms of like my thoughts and like the hype I have seen or what I'm hyped for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'll probably mostly be using the system as like just I'll still be playing mostly Switch 1 games for now. Like I think Illness mentioned that as well. Um, like I'm basically not going to be, or it might have been Plasma, so I apologize, but in my Discord. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna buy it mostly for Mario Kart, and I'm gonna be mostly playing still Switch 1 games on it for like yeah, until something good comes out for the Switch 2 that I'm really hyped about, which obviously will happen. New Pokemon will definitely come out for it. The new 3D Mario will come out for it. Freaking Zelda will come out for it. We all know we're going to get these games eventually, so that's pretty sweet. But anyways, yeah, I'm hyped about it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. It'll be a good time. So yeah, so those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I'd love to know what your guys's are. What are you excited about with the Nintendo Switch 2? Are you excited about it? Is the price point a huge turnoff? Are you going to buy it day one? Or are you going to wait? I'd love to get a conversation going. So yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts, guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace and love.